Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. Well, today I want to go back and talk a little bit. Yesterday I was talking about the different things that I've taught over the past 3 years, and what I have found myself doing is reading and studying lots of different translations and finding out that a lot of the things that people just kind of run with and teach, we haven't really studied it out. And my current subject right now is the false doctrine, and I did say false doctrine, and I'd sometimes, just to go ahead and offend religious people, I'll just call it a lie, and boy, that really makes them upset, so I'll say that today. It is a lie. The lie about hell. It is a Roman Catholic false teaching. St. Jerome kind of set a format or a foundation for that wrong teaching to come into the church by mistranslating 4 different words in his Latin Vulgate. And he took 4 completely different words, 3 completely different places, right? And made it one place and renamed it as Infernos. And originally in the Old Testament and in the Greek Hades, Old Testament Sheol, New Testament Hades, that actually just means the grave, a place where a dead person is put, but he translated in his Bible Infernos, which is our English word that came into existence, okay, hell, in the 14th century. First time it was ever put in a Bible was in 1382. I believe that was the Wycliffe Bible, and it used the word hell in it. The King James is a translation downline from the Latin Vulgate, St. Jerome's Bible. But how the doctrine of hell got into our churches in America, well, I've already offended people, might as well say this. Did you know our American churches are nothing but offspring churches from Roman Catholicism? We're called Protestant churches, which is from Martin Luther, who was a Roman Catholic priest who studied under in the monastery of St. Augustine. St. Augustine is the one who actually formulated the hell doctrine in the Roman Catholic Church. I hope I'm making sense for some people today. Because prior to the 5th century, the Christian church, notice I didn't say Roman Catholic, the Christian faith understood the Greek scriptures, and they understood that God's purifying was a temporary thing that brought people back into purification and burnt away, if you want to call it that. Cleansing is also used, a chopping off, a cleansing, a washing of the robes, purifying people of evil, okay? God's not trying to get rid of people. He's getting rid of evil that people are doing. So see, we're confused about what God's trying to get rid of. He's not trying to destroy his creation. He's trying to purge and get rid of the evil that is in his perfect creation. Got it? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about this thing called hell, because, you know, St. Augustine took St. Jerome's Latin Vulgate and pulled together the words Sheol, Hades, Gehenna, which is a garbage dump in Jerusalem at the time of Jesus, okay? I'll teach that verse one day. I'm going to hit that. I've got lots and lots of verses I need to reteach and show you what the Greek actually says, because 2,000 years later we're a little bit confused, and religion has not been our friend when it comes to making up false beliefs, whether it's in the Christian churches or if it's the Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons or the Quran or whatever. Guys, men want to lead people to believe what they want them to believe. We do have truth. Jesus is truth. But there's been a lot of people that has translated their own ideas and beliefs into our Bibles, and now we've got to really dig in and figure out what is truth and what is not, right? Okay, so I was talking about how St. Jerome wrote his one-man translation from one set of incomplete manuscripts in 382 through 405. By then it was complete, okay? And this is really odd because St. Jerome believed in universal restoration. He did not believe in an ongoing hell in a pit of fire like we do. And neither did St. Augustine. And St. Augustine wrote 4 letters to St. Jerome telling him that he needed to not do his own translation apart from the Greek Septuagint, which is the Bible that was used for 600 years, the Greek scriptures. It was the Hebrew scriptures translated into Greek by 70. It's called the 70. That's what Septuagint means, is 70, right? So these Greek scholars, who were also scholars in Hebrew, took the manuscripts and translated it from Hebrew into Greek. And that was what was used in the temple as well as the synagogues in the days of Jesus, okay? So the Greek language was well known and understood, but here's where we got disconnected in Christianity. The Latin-speaking men who wanted to control Christianity through Constantine, the emperor, and the Roman Catholic Church decided through the government and their power that they would take over and be the head of Christianity. They do not understand the Greek language. That's not their native language. So St. Jerome took and translated one set of incomplete Latin into the Latin from Hebrew, okay, and he didn't use the Greek Septuagint. And this is where part of the problem comes with our Bibles, guys. I'm wanting to build a foundation for you. But anyway, so St. Augustine has written Jerome 4 letters telling him, dude, you need to go back and trust what we've had in front of us for all 600 years and make your translation from the Greek Septuagint. And of course, Jerome, in his pride and arrogance, said that the 70 scholars did not know what they were doing, and he was writing the Bible and fixing all those errors they made from 600 years ago. Okay, so then later, St. Augustine formulates this doctrine about a pit of fire of eternal flames tormented by God. So, with all of that said, I want to show you something today, okay? Right here, this is a post. I just printed it off on my color printer, and this was on Facebook. And it says here, this is an anti-abortion little meme that somebody put up on Facebook. And I want to show you. It says right here that Moloch killed the children. They would take these are the Jews, by the way, their firstborn baby. They would take that baby and offer it to Moloch, and sometimes it's called Baal, B-A-A-L, Baal, and but they would burn their babies, the firstborn baby, on this statue, and they would play loud drums so the baby's screams could not be heard, okay? Pharaoh, he killed the kids too, didn't he? Remember that? All the firstborn babies had to be sacrificed. Okay, and that was back when the Passover angel and anyone who put the blood on the doorpost, the angel went over and the firstborn wasn't taken. Okay, but here's something I want to throw in for free today. Did you know that all those babies that died that one night was more merciful than being burned over a flame? Right? Okay, those children were going to die either way because they were firstborn. What God did is he came and took them so they couldn't be sacrificed by Pharaoh. But the Israelites who put the blood on the doorpost, the babies were not taken. But I do want to show you this, that it was not, God did not torment and sacrifice babies. He never wanted that. He was proving that he could take all the babies he wanted if he wanted them, and he didn't have to burn them over fire or cut them up into little bitty pieces, right? Okay, so let me get back to this, though, but I find it interesting how we think that God is a horrible God because he came that one night and he took all of those babies out, but he didn't call himself sacrificing them or slaughtering them. He was taking them away from Pharaoh, who was planning to torture the kids. Okay, let me keep going. Now down here we also see where it says, and Herod killed the children. Okay, and then we see here in the ad where they talk about how a woman having an abortion is no different than this. Now, what I want to connect for you today, because pictures are worth 1,000 words. So watch. We understand that this is wrong, right? Wrong to burn babies over fire. We also know that Pharaoh was wrong. Okay. King Herod, when he went and killed all those babies, he was wrong. Okay. women living in deception who have abortions are wrong. Okay, we agree with all of that, right? Okay, now let me show you something I want to connect today. Do you think this is wrong? Because see what our Christian churches teach, because we actually are little stepchildren of the Roman Catholic Church, and we don't even realize it. We do not realize that we are teaching the lies of a false religion. Look at this one more time. Jesus says, love your enemies, so that you will be known for being sons and daughters of the Father. Okay, the Father is not wanting to burn people over flames for all eternity. He wants to reconcile with his enemies. Think with me, okay? Jesus said, love your enemies so that you will prove that you are children of my Father. Love our enemies. But watch this. Jesus says love your enemies, but Jesus is going to throw people in a pit of fire, a lake of fire, and burn them forever and ever and ever. What God are you actually believing about? Because this is not Jesus' Father. Get this? This was not Jesus' Father. This was not Jesus' Father. This is not Jesus' Father. Moloch is not God. Pharaoh is not God. He's not Jesus' Father. Herod is not God of the Bible, of our Bibles. And all of this is wrong, and we understand that. Morally, we've got enough of God in us. We know all of this is wrong. What are we thinking that this is right? Think on these things with me today, okay? Now, look, tomorrow what I want to do is I want to go ahead and teach on Revelation chapter 20, verse 15, because all of my Christian friends who have been brainwashed to believe these lies, this is their favorite verse to verse snatch. So tomorrow, I'm going to take this verse apart and I'm going to talk to you about what it actually really says in the Greek and what it means. And I'm going to read it to you, and you can think on this tonight. Romans 20:15, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Tomorrow, because it's going to take me a full 12 or 13 minutes to explain this one verse, because it's been mistaught so much. It's an easy verse as long as we understand what's actually being said. So that's going to be my teaching tomorrow. But I'm going to say this one more time, because pictures mean more. I can talk for an hour and not get this across any clearer. These, all four, we know are morally wrong. How can we think that the God of the Bible, Jesus' Father, is morally higher up than we are, which he is, by the way, but he's going to torture people forever and ever and never? The minute they quit breathing, he doesn't love them anymore. He has no mercy on them, and it's just over and done, because he was actually depending on fallen human beings who don't know how to love each other to decide who they want to invite into our little private club of Christianity. See, we got a lot of things we got to unravel here. So this old girl is going to go ahead and dig deeper. And for anybody that I'm teaching things that they just can't mentally work through right now, just hit that little button right there that says stop. And you can come back by and visit me in 3 or 4 weeks. I should be through talking about some of the things that I promised when I started this series about hell that I would cover. So once I'm finished, you can come back and I'll talk about all the wonderful miracles that I see, about people getting healed and the dead being raised. And you just come on back and I'll make you feel good again. But first of all, I'm going to do what I promised, and I'm going to teach those who really want to understand and know the truth about what Scripture really says about our loving Father. Okay? I love you, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.